Change as a pathway to growth. February 17, 2013. We are the Council of Nine. Greetings, dear ones. Spring is coming early to some of the northern hemisphere. Robins and swelling poplar buds, as well as gentle rainstorms, have arrived in parts of the Pacific Northwest, even as areas of the Northeast United States are shivering under a blanket of snow and ice. Weather patterns seem to be shifting all over the place, and it is getting hard to predict what normal weather is anymore. Indeed, little seems normal in your world anymore. Many of you are being met up with daily challenges, from the faltering economy, from personal and familial issues, from job losses and or changes, or perhaps you are considering moving to a different locale. Change is becoming the norm. Expecting the unexpected is to be prepared for all possibilities and to leave one's mind open to change. Being able to adapt to swift and sudden change will become a survival skill for many. There are still earth changes to come, although we do not see them as being as severe as has been predicted in the past. With a new paradigm beginning to be revealed, more hearts are opening up. As people come together to work out differences and solve problems, natural events will lessen in ferocity. As people clear up their stuff, it lessens the need for the planet to clear up hers, at least to a degree. Remember that your planet is a living being and subject to cleansing like your own. Earthquakes, volcanism, floods, fires and storms will continue into the future. Use a combination of common sense and intuition to prepare yourself for any eventuality and remain calm and without fear. A change of heart means clearing up old residue of half-forgotten hurts, letting them go and learning to forgive. If you continue to dwell on some event in the past, it will eventually consume you. Let it go. Resolve to understand and realize that you are human, but also divine. You can overcome anything that comes your way if you learn to listen to the inner voice and to seek advice and counsel from trusted sources. Use both your heart and mind, intuitive wisdom and learned knowledge to make important decisions. With rapid change, it is important to connect with your neighbors and community. Create groups with similar interests and learn to work cooperatively on projects. You will find that many hearts and hands make the work get done faster. At the same time, learn to be independent in your thinking and feeling. You are a sovereign being who has long been shamed or conditioned into looking for others to make decisions for you. Take back your power gently and determine to find out who you are as an individual. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What can you let go of in your world that no longer works for you? For some, it will be releasing the need to continue to carry old grudges and resentments. For others, they will discover that they have so repressed their memories that it is difficult to access the depths of the shadows within. They may require professional assistance for a while until they feel more able to work on themselves. Soul retrieval, shadow work and Reiki are but a few of the modalities that can assist in healing trauma embedded in the body. Human beings have little understanding of the marvelous vehicles they call bodies. Most people believe that they are the body and nothing else. That they have but one life to live and bloom like a flower and then die. Nothing is further from the truth. You are a spiritual being living a life as a human. The body is a vehicle, a temple for your soul essence. Your life is particular focus for your soul to learn more about itself. You live and die and are reborn. Your lessons for each lifetime are different, although patterns sometimes result due to lessons being unfinished. You will and have lived in many cultures, many bodies, and as both man and woman, gay and straight. When you realize that reincarnation is real, you will also begin to understand that judgment of those who are different is judgment of self. Did you not know that human beings make up the nervous system of the planet? You are interconnected in more ways than you realize, with each other, with the planet and all life upon her. You are also connected to the spirit realm, and each of you has many guides who work with you primarily as you are sleeping. As you become more conscious and awake, the guidance also becomes more apparent, although decisions are left to each individual. Humanity as a whole is now in the process of remembering itself. This remembering process is learning to recognize the connections that each one of us shares, while communicating and interacting with each, or even while we are alone. Our scribe has had moments when she has communicated with loved ones who have passed. While we do not recommend that you dwell on such communication, if it happens it is for a reason, to resolve issues outstanding between the parties involved. Also, the process of remembering takes the form of learning to live in a world that is filled with diversity. Your world is blessed with a breathtaking variety of cultures and lifestyles. Most planetary systems are fairly homogeneous or have but a few racial groups, but yours offers great diversity and so greater lessons on learning to accept those who are different from yourself. Salvation as taught by the Christian Church is another way of saying ascension, which is the goal for all souls undergoing the lessons of living on this teaching planet. To ascend one must ultimately balance male-female energies, as well as mastering the lower body's emotional, mental and physical, and mastering relationships in the real world, that is, through daily living. However, in Christianity, there was no intention for the individual to be prepared to ascension. Instead, conscious choices were made by more than one individual to delete the teaching of reincarnation, thus paving the way for the Church to have, at least potentially, perpetual control over the lives of millions of people. Or perhaps that was the intent. It is not working. People are now in the process of freeing themselves from such limited and conditional upbringing. Wishful thinking and dreaming will also not allow one to ascend. It takes work, focus and a balance of intuition and clear, decisive thinking to ascend. Sitting in a quiet corner and meditating will contribute to individual well-being, but will not contribute to the community at large. In today's world, with its many changes and crises, it is important for each soul to engage in the activities and challenges of daily living, at a local level and expanding outward. What one person does can impact many others, especially when news travels so fast through the internet and social networks. Leaders, followers, advisors, teachers, writers and journalists, artists and artisans, as well as comedians and actors are needed to make up the wholeness of humanity. Each of you will play more than one part. Each of us is part of the whole. There are many pathways to God and to ascension. One path is not better than any other. Each individual needs to determine the path that is best for them. It needs to come from their inner being. Some, like our scribe, will need to learn from many different teachings, as one teacher cannot give them all that they need. For others, there will be but one path, either simple or difficult, depending on the lessons that soul wishes to learn in a particular lifetime. Remember, dear ones, that you live more than once. You may end up actually experiencing lifetimes spent in all the religions and time periods of your planet, knowledge that will serve you well when you finally ascend and begin your work as a spiritual guide and more. Religion has been but one impediment to the unification of your world's people. The economy has been a means of dividing those who have and those who have not. There are those who are wealthy beyond their own needs who sincerely believe that those who are poor are undeserving of their regard, that somehow they are lazy and even lesser beings. This manner of thought is judgmental in the extreme and foolish, as the wealthy will find themselves reincarnating in a poor country as the soul attempts to balance its misunderstandings. What you do not understand, what you attack, what you hate, you will become, through the process of reincarnation, until such time as the soul feels that it has learned all that can be learned while in physical form and moves to higher planes through the process of ascension. We encourage all of you to carefully examine your thoughts as you interact with people, when you read the news or watch television, as to how you react internally and externally to events and people. Are you repelled by some occurrences? Why is that so? What would you change in yourself so that you understand that everything in the world happens for a reason, one that is not often readily understood but may have its roots in several lifetimes before the present-day event has occurred? Remember, energy is neutral. It is how you interpret it, how you react or not to it, that ultimately affects your body. For some people will seek to deny their feelings and suppress them. The emotions do not go away. The effects of trauma or even a simple misunderstanding can negatively affect someone for years, even eventually playing out in the physical through the process of disease. Therefore it is important to be aware and conscious of your reactions to news and to not suppress your emotions, but to let them play out and move through you, without judgment. There is so much to speak about as your world moves slowly into a new epoch, one that will be filled with more light and love than the previous 12,000 years, since the last golden age was halted suddenly through geophysical catastrophe. This new golden age will see the true blossoming of humanity, as men and women come into new understanding and appreciation for the wonders and value of physical existence. Life is to be cherished. The opportunity to learn and to be is a gift granted to few. You are here now, chosen from many to be a part of the awakening process of humanity, as it moves from childhood into adulthood, from an earthbound being to one who is a galactic citizen. We extend our blessings to each of you and stand by you to support and guide you every moment as required while you discover a new world, within and without. We will come again. Thank you, beloved Council of Nine. Channeled by Tezjima, Elizabeth Ayres Escher. BlueDragonJournal.com